Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. So today we have got the following articles to share. So let's start. First article being saying about the women in labor force. Okay, so since addressing the National Labour Conference, the Prime Minister of India focuses more on the women and directly allowing them to have a flexible work phases hours for the women laborers. So we can see that even this year, in organizing the International Women's Day, that is in March 8, 2022, the main theme was gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. So we can see that in the country of India, the female labor force participation, that is the FLFP, this one, that is the female labor force participation, is the lowest among the BRICS countries. When I say about the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and is also lower among countries like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. So to address this problem, we need some of the concerted efforts and some of the targeted strategies along with a respective change in attitudes for women to take advantage of this new labor market opportunities. Today, if you see about the India's female LFPR, that is the labor force participation, you can see it is amongst the world's lowest at around 20% only. And as per ILO, India seeks 121 out of 131 countries in this LFPR. Because more than 95% of India's working women are informal workers. So today, if I see about the scenario of the women's workforce participation, you can see that in some places the presence of women is appreciable. For instance, you can see about the female participation in projects like the MG Narega, that is the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which is about 50%, 50. India also boasts a higher share of female airplane pilots at around 15%, while the world average has barely 5%. Today, if you see that half of India's banking assets were under institutions headed by women. Despite this participation of women in the workforce, India still remained low in the country's perspective, that is in the whole world. And that was around 20%. On par with countries like Saudi Arabia, which have got a good tap over women's participation in various number of activities. So today, if you see about the women's in informal sector, as I have told, 95% of the women working women are directly indirectly in some of the informal sectors who work in labor intensive, low paying, hybrid precarious job conditions with no social protections. Even if I say about the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act of 2017, more than double the duration of the paid maternity leave for women, around 26 weeks. So today, these benefits are mostly enjoyed by the formal sector women workers, which constitute less than 5% of the women workforce. And the lack of affordable and quality childcare services increases the burden on informal women workers, aggravating what? Gender biasness as well as class inequalities. So therefore, today, if I directly say about the gig economy, okay, जब मैं gig economy के बारे में बोलता हूं, तो gig economy is something like a labor market characterized by the prevalence of short-term contracts or freelancers works as opposed to permanent jobs. उसको बोलते हैं हम लोग gig economy. And study indicates that the women's appreciate the income generating potential of the gig economy. And the ILO survey of 2021 even noted that the working from home or job flexibilities are particularly important for women because they have to raise the respective child. So you can see today that even if I say about some number of uses of internet technology, according to the Mobile Gender Gap report, only 25% of the women own some of the smartphones, composed to 41% of men in India in 2020. So therefore, there needs to be done in every possible way to make these women directly come into the main workforce. So what can be done? So we can provide some of the skill trainings, Even that skill training can be online. We need some of the training programs with well-defined outcomes for women's digital assets. We need more number of investments in health as well as care facilities. Also, we could directly make or enable women to acquire both physical assets. And this employable skills is crucial for them to take up the employment opportunities in the new and emerging sectors of today. Also, providing good childcare services is directly a significant support to a women in managing their care responsibilities. So today, if I see about the national crash schemes, crash मतलब क्या, जहां पे बच्चे रखा जाता है working women के लिए, which lays out specific provisions for working women, today has directly diminished the government funding. But revitalizing such number of schemes may help and can be hugely beneficial for our working women. So therefore today, if we have to directly increase the women's participation in the labor workforce, we have to directly make more number of flexibilities to their workspaces, to their working hours, which can integrate more and more number of women into our labor force, and which will directly increase the gender participation. There will be increased females in the workforce, and they can ultimately contribute to the nation's economical growth. Okay, so therefore we have to include more and more number of women just by liberating various number of hours as well as spaces for them, or to create such number of environment, we need some number of huge will, so that we can make more and more women come under the regular or formal sector of our country. Okay, coming to the next one, study visa. Okay, study visas, yahan pe kya ho raha hai, that UK study visas, India surpasses China's share. So if I discuss about the study visa today, India today now accounts for the largest share of the study, that is study visas issued by United Kingdom, overtaking China. And this is according to UK immigration statistics released on this Thursday. And according to the statistics, you can see that a period between July 2021 and July 2022, Indians also obtained the most visitor visas and skilled worker visas issued by the UK. Okay. So if I directly compare it with China today, there are some of the data given over here. In the year ending June 2022, the UK issued some around 486,868 sponsored study visas, of which around 1,17,000 were around the Indian nationals, and around 1,15,000 were around the Chinese nationals. So this is around 89% rise from the previous year. And for China, it directly dipped to around 4%. तो हम लोग का बढ़ा है, उन लोग का dip हुआ है. So therefore we can see today more and more number of people are directly moving towards UK instead of some of the other areas like US. Because आज अगर मैं देखूं कि why do Indians prefer to study in the UK over the US? So यहाँ पे बहुत सारा reasons होता है. We can see that the prestigious universities are directly spread between US and UK, with the UK probably containing more per capita income as compared to even US. Also, the UK has a substantial population of Indians who are well integrated into the society and have created a large community for themselves, which makes them feel homely in this respective area. Also, the UK is far more accepting of Indians than the US. The racism in UK tends to be against blacks and Pakistanis. An Indian would not get knifed, slurred, colorism hit, etc. So the UK means what? It is sexually not racist against Indians. So they are not sexually racist against Indians. Also, UK has got a good historic connections with India, because once they only ruled us. And UK is a very classist state, where Indians are directly the middle class and South Asian Muslims and blacks are directly coming in from the lower class. Also, we can see about Hinduism, about Jainism, about Buddhism, very much well respected in the country known as UK, or in the countries of the UK. So, though UK have got less job prospects, but once citizenship is achieved in UK, we can cross to the European Union and Commonwealth so that we could get some of the better job opportunities in these respective areas. Okay, so therefore, UK is desiring more and more number of people to go there and provide some number of visas with respective to the studies. So even in some of the universities you can see, or some of the courses in the UK you can see that it offers some 2 years master courses condensed into 1 year. तो 2 साल का चीज 1 साल में खत्म हो जाएगा. Also, it might be very much easier to secure admission in UK as compared to US due to stiff competition in the case of later. USA में competition ज्यादा है. And इसीलिए यहाँ पे क्या होता है? It saves money and time of the respective student who is directly willing to directly study over there. So in such number of reasons, we can see that the more number of people are directly turning towards UK to go for various number of studies visas. Okay, so there is a respective topic which directly says about the study visa that is presently more and more going on towards UK. Next pair, Discom losses. Discom matlab distribution company losses. See, in the power sector, we have got 3 main processes involved. पहला प्रोसेस क्या है? पावर जनरेशन का. दूसरा प्रोसेस क्या है? ट्रांसमिशन का. और तीसरा है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. And distribution is done by the distribution companies which connect the power producers to the households. And they are interface between what? The utilities as well as the consumers. Under the Indian Constitution, the power is directly a concurrent subject. And the responsibility for distribution and supply of the power to the rural as well as some of the urban consumers rests with the state. Hence, we can see that these Discoms, that is the distribution companies, are predominantly owned by the state governments. Private Discoms are also operational in India, but it is limited to some of the fewer cities like Delhi and Mumbai. Government of India provides assistance to the states through various central sector or centrally sponsored schemes for directly improving the distribution sector. But we have seen in the recent times that most power distribution companies in India are incurring losses every year, and these losses can be in various numbers. Today, the Discoms are facing some number of high AT&C losses, that is aggregate technical and commercial losses, which was around 50%. Also, the determination of tariff is one major factor which directly impact the health of the Discoms, because there is a frequent delay in the tariff determination process. Also, the poor financial health of the Discom industries or the Discom companies makes them unable to make some of the timely payments for their energy purchases from the respective generators. Therefore, we can see that post-pandemic, there is a decrease in revenue generation owing to the corona pandemic. Also, we could see that in various states, the political consensus is very much of lack. And because of this lackness, we cannot see the Discom companies are directly rising manifold. So therefore, the various steps too have been taken by the government to resolve the problems being faced by the Discoms today. Even the Uday scheme, that is Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana, was designed to turn around the financial position of the state distribution companies. Also, the RLRBSD, Reforms Linked Result-Based Scheme for Distribution, which is directly announced the launch of Reform-Based Results Linked Scheme for providing some of the financial health and operational efficiency of the Discoms. So therefore, the Discom restructuring is a very imminent step that needs to be taken at the earliest. Because without going for such number of restructurings, without going for some number of reforms, without going for the operational reforms, supposedly about saying about the ATC loss figures, ये अगर हम लोग ने improve नहीं किया, renewable energy को directly focus नहीं किया, managerial reforms को नहीं लाया, at that point of time, we could see that we will gain more and more number of losses in the coming times. So today, Haryana has directly proven that this situation has directly improved in the respective states. तो ये लोग ने half कर दिया अपना electricity losses. Okay, by making use of the respective efficiencies to deal with such number of things. As we know that every state has got the respective duty of the respective transmissions. Okay, so therefore the ATC losses you can see over here, 30% over here. Today it is around 15%. So because of their well achievements, you can see Haryana can directly make the losses come down. Okay, that is directly work. That is a good management facilities that has been organized by the respective state. Okay, so this was about the Discom losses. Coming to the next, the review of the PMLA. PMLA क्या है? Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, so recently during the time period of July, okay, July around 27th July, okay, the Supreme Court of India upholded the constitutional validity of the PMLA 2002. And the court underlined that the principle of innocence of the accused or the offender is regarded as human right, but that presumption cannot be interdicted by a law made by the parliament or legislature. So in this respective case or in this respective ruling, the Supreme Court said about ECIR. ECIR क्या है? Enforcement Case Information Report, which can be equated with an FIR. Okay, since PMLA is directly dealing, PMLA directly dealt by the ED, that is the Enforcement Directorate. तो इसीलिए डायरेक्टली इसका जो FIR है, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट, जो थाने में हम लोग डालते हैं, तो यहाँ पे इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग ECIR, that is Enforcement Case Informational Report. And supplying an ECIR in every case of a person concerned is not mandatory, and it is enough if the Enforcement Directorate at the time of arrest discloses the ground of arrest of such arrest. So the ECIR is an internal document of the ED. So यहाँ पे यही सब चीज चेंज किया गया था, that this Enforcement Directorate can directly go with such number of things. तो अभी यही जो इन लोग बोले थे about this respective two aspects, और ये aspect कौन कौन सा था? This aspects directly tells them that the Supreme Court in this period of time directly say that they are directly upholding the validity of the ECIR and reversal of the preassumption of innocence. So उसी को ही अभी क्या करेंगे? Under the judicial review system of the Supreme Court, they will review the number of verdict that they have directly given. Okay, so अगर मैं यहाँ पे चलने जाऊँ कि what is the basic funda of this PMLA 2022? So therefore, see, it's a criminal law enacted to prevent the money laundering. Money laundering मतलब वही होता है जो black money directly convert करते हैं white money के through. So this is the process of money laundering, simply converting a black money to white money. So it's a criminal law directly enacted to prevent money laundering and provide for confiscation of property derived from or involved in various number of money laundering and related matters. And it directly forms the core of the legal framework that is put in place in India to combat money laundering. Okay, so therefore we know that Enforcement Directorate is the sole agency to go for such number of activities of money laundering. So ये जो Enforcement Directorate है, so it traces its origin from the directorates that goes back to around 1956, when an enforcement unit was formed in the Department of Economic Affairs for handling exchange control laws that violates the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. उस टाइम फेरा था, आज वो फेमा बन गया, Foreign Exchange Management Act, क्योंकि फेरा 1973 में रिपील कर दिया गया था. उसके बाद around 1999 FEMA, that is the Foreign Exchange Management Act, directly came into prominence. Okay, so therefore within the PMLA, the ED has been given the responsibility to enforce the provisions of the PMLA, and also it enforces the FEMA, which came around in 1999. उसके बाद और एक चीज है 2018 में आया था वो, that is FEOA, that is Fugitive of Economic Offenders Act. तो ये क्या है? FEOA, Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. It is a law whereby the directorate is very much mandated to attach the properties of the fugitive economic offenders who have escaped from India warranting arrest, and provide for the confiscation of their properties to the central government. तो ये था in associated with the PE. तो जब ये रिव्यू करके फिर से आएंगे तो it will again be in news, and at that point of time we'll discuss this thing again कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या बोला है. चलो नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. About privatization of bank, this is a repeated topic. Hardly some 2 to 3 days ago only I have discussed about in full. You can directly get that link in our description channel. You can directly go through. If you are following it regularly, my news, you can see I have discussed in length about the privatization of bank. Okay, so you can directly go through this video for the clear details of this privatization of bank. Coming to the last part, that is the editorial part about freebies. This is also I have discussed, but at least I will tell you about a brief about this freebies. So freebies क्या होता है? Freebies, if I say about what do we mean by a freebie, तो यहाँ पे जाते हैं कि like any type of political party which try to outdo each other in luring the Indian voters with associated goodies are known as freebies. And today, this freebies has directly trended and has gained momentum within the political parties because being innovated in their offerings, such as traditional free water, electricity, no longer sufficient as election credits. So today, if I see about the respective thing, which is the freebies culture, it is very much in prominence in our country today. And even recently, the Supreme Court had also asked the central government whether distributing irrational freebies during election campaigns is financially viable or not. Okay, so even the Election Commission of India is also very much concerned towards such number of things. Because in the freebies, the political parties promised to offer such number of free allowances to the unemployment, daily wage laborers, women's gadgets like laptops, smartphones to secure the vote of the people. And certain kind of expenditures that are done under this populist measures might maybe questionable in a democratic country like us. And because of this freebies today, there is a rising number of inequalities today. And because of these inequalities, we can see, though some directly get some of the relief within the populace, but some are directly being unjustified. So though we can see that the freebies directly facilitate growths, it helps the lesser developed states, it is essential for fulfilling expectations, it helps the lesser developed states, but we have also got various number of drawbacks because it makes a country or a society macroeconomically unstable. It impacts states' fiscal situation. It is against free and fair elections. And it's also a step directly away from the environment. Because when the freebies are about giving free power, it would lead to overuse of natural resources, and focus from renewable energy system will also get distracted. So therefore, realizing the economic impacts of the freebies, differentiating subsidies and freebies are a need of the hour. Because if I am directly going for some number of targeted freebies or welfare practices, then it benefits that arise out of demands and not on because of to gather some number of political vote banks. So today, even the Supreme Court is also involved, and therefore you can say about freebies a judicial lead and a multi-layered issue as of country as of today. Okay, so this is associated with the freebies. So यहाँ पे freebies versus welfare का एक टसल चल रहा है. तो वेलफेयर के बारे में भी सोचना है, लेकिन ज्यादा से ज्यादा हम लोग को फ्रीबीज नहीं देना चाहिए because it directly help and it makes some number of unequal situations in our country. Okay, so this was all about today. Okay, you can have the 5 number of questions attempt कर लेना. ठीक है, एक मेंस क्वेश्चन वाला है. You can get this answers directly in our Telegram channel of us. Okay, चलो, thank you for today. We'll meet with same type of analysis tomorrow. चलो, Tata and Jai Hind.